Imagine that the lowest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean, sits at a staggering 36,000 feet below sea level. What might you find? Ancient cities, fleets of sunken ships, underwater museums, even ghosts. Oh, you'll be surprised after watching this video. Let's look at the most terrifying discoveries made in the deep waters of our planet. We kick off today's video in the Pacific Ocean with the ghost fleet of Truk Lagoon, the South Pacific's Caroline Islands harbor, the ghost fleet of Truk Lagoon. In a surprise attack by American allies during World War II, approximately 250 Japanese aircraft were destroyed and more than 50 ships were sunk. An estimated 400 Japanese soldiers perished on a single ship, trapped in the cargo hold. Most of the fleet remains in exactly the same spot it was left, largely forgotten by the world until the late 1960s. Jacques Cousteau's 1969 film Lagoon of Lost Ships explored the wreck-littered lagoon, where many of the sunken ships still contained human remains. As wreck divers brought attention to the site, Japan began recovery efforts, and many bodies have since been removed and returned home for burial. Wreck divers reported an eerie mood cast over the wreck, while others claim to have seen something down there that they can't explain. Moving on next, we have an underwater world in Atlit Yam. Not far off the coast of the village of Atlit in the Mediterranean Sea near Israel lies the submerged ruins of the ancient Neolithic site of Atlit Yam. The prehistoric settlement, which dates back to the 7th millennium BC, has been so well preserved by the sandy seabed that a mysterious stone circle still stands exactly as it was first erected. Dozens of human skeletons also remain undisturbed in their graves. Today, Atlit Yam lies 16 to 40 feet beneath sea level and covers an area of 40,000 square meters. It was first discovered in 1984 by marine archaeologist Ehud Galili. Since then, underwater excavations have unearthed numerous houses, stone-built water wells, long unconnected walls, ritual installations, paved areas, a megalithic structure, thousands of flora and fauna remains, dozens of human remains, and numerous artifacts made of stone, bone, wood, and flint. The site provides unprecedented insight into life during the Neolithic period when humans had just discovered how to domesticate plants and animals. There are probably ghosts there too. But up next on the list, we have the MS Zenobia. The MS Zenobia left Malmö, Sweden, on its maiden voyage to Syria in May 1980, loaded with tractor-trailers and other cargo. Between Athens and Cyprus, the ship began experiencing steering problems due to excessive ballast water being pumped in. After the water was removed, the captain continued to Cyprus, the ship's second-to-last stop. However, as the list worsened, the captain decided to tow the ship out of the harbour to prevent it from becoming an obstruction should it sink. 5 days after arriving, the Zenobia went down in Larnaca Bay, taking all its cargo with it. Fortunately, there were no casualties. Compared to the usual shipwreck, this disaster unfolded relatively slowly. But apart from the catastrophic failure of a state-of-the-art ferry, the true mystery lies in what happened next. Despite its intrinsic value and the $234 million worth of cargo aboard, no investigation was ever conducted and the owners never attempted to collect the insurance. The wreck of the Zenobia is now considered one of the best dive sites in the world, and we couldn't agree more. But moving on, next we have the SS Thistlegorm. The world-famous SS Thistlegorm was sunk in 1941 in the Gulf of Suez at the northern end of the Red Sea. It has since become a world-class diving destination. The ship was packed to the gunwales with a cargo of supplies destined for the British Fifth Army based in Alexandria. Armoured carriers, motorcycles, jeeps, trucks, airplane parts, rifles, radio equipment, and even a plentiful supply of Wellington boots. The Thistlegorm is heaven for wreck enthusiasts, but it's also one of the most underrated fish dives in the area, attracting schooling barracuda and serving as a hunting ground for giant tuna and snapper. In the early 1950s, Jacques Cousteau discovered the wreck using information from local fishermen. He raised several items from the wreck, including a motorcycle, the captain's safe, and the ship's bell. Cousteau documented his dives on the wreck in his book, The Living Sea. Moving on, we have an underwater museum in Cancun, a Mexican city on the Yucatan Peninsula bordering the Caribbean Sea. The Cancun Underwater Museum of Art, known as MUSA, was conceived in 2008 as a way to protect the region's fragile marine life by drawing tourists away from nearby natural reefs. Collaborating with British artist Jason DeCaires Taylor and several local Mexican artists, MUSA has grown into an attraction that welcomes over 750,000 visitors annually. The museum features more than 400 sculptures designed to provide a habitat for coral and a protected environment for fish and other marine life, effectively turning the museum into a living, breathing exhibition. Covering an area of over 1,300 square feet, the museum is divided into two distinct galleries several miles apart. To place the statues on the ocean floor, the team designed a special lift with some sculptures so heavy that they had to be lowered into the water using lift bags. Isn't that incredible? Up next, we have a plastic bag. An American explorer made a shocking discovery while breaking the record for the deepest ever dive: plastic waste on the ocean floor. In a historic descent, Victor Vescovo traveled nearly 7 miles down to the Pacific Ocean's Mariana Trench, the deepest place on Earth. He spent 4 hours exploring the trench in a submersible built to withstand immense pressure, encountering fascinating sea creatures and a plastic bag. Yes, that's right, a plastic bag. The Mariana Trench extends nearly 36,000 feet into a remote part of the Pacific Ocean, but even this extreme depth hasn't escaped the reach of human pollution. A recent study found that plastic bags, particularly the kind given away at grocery stores, are now the deepest known pieces of plastic trash. Researchers estimate that 89% of plastic waste found in the trench consists of single-use plastics like water bottles and disposable utensils. Up next, we have the San Jose shipwreck. In 1708, the Spanish galleon San Jose erupted into flames off the coast of Cartagena, Colombia. The ship had been in battle with the British since late afternoon, and by nightfall, the 62-cannon galleon had disappeared into the Caribbean Sea. With it sank nearly 600 people and an estimated millions of dollars worth of gold, silver, and jewels. For centuries, the San Jose lay lost on the ocean floor, but its mystery began to unravel in 2015 when the Colombian government announced its official discovery. Now, the shipwreck is at the center of a heated custody dispute, with multiple parties staking claims to its riches. The Colombian government has kept the exact location a secret, adding to the intrigue surrounding what has been called the Holy Grail of shipwrecks. But up next, we have the locomotive graveyard. This graveyard was discovered by chance in 1985 when Paul Hepler was mapping the ocean floor off the coast of New Jersey. While scanning the seabed, he picked up two massive metal objects, which turned out to be locomotives. Despite the murky waters, experts identified them as rare Planet-class 222T models, a short-lived design that became obsolete almost immediately after production. The trains were small, weighing about 15 tons each, and entirely self-contained. The biggest mystery? How they got there. Experts believe the locomotives were being transported from Boston to the mid-Atlantic on a barge when they encountered a violent storm. The theory is that the trains either fell off accidentally or were deliberately pushed overboard to lighten the load. Regardless of how they ended up at the bottom of the ocean, their remarkably well-preserved condition makes them an incredible find. Up next, we have the Baltic Sea. Anomaly. Among the strangest deep-sea finds of the last decade, the Baltic Sea anomaly continues to baffle experts. In 2011, the deep-sea exploration team OceanX stumbled upon a bizarre disc-shaped formation 300 feet below the surface off the coast of Sweden. The anomaly's circular shape and straight protrusions immediately caught their attention. Even stranger, an extensive trail appeared to lead directly to the object, sparking speculation that it could be evidence of a crash landing. A geologist from Stockholm University analysed rock samples retrieved from the site but found no evidence of extraterrestrial origins. Instead, the samples contained ordinary stones consistent with the glacial basin that forms the Baltic Sea. Still, the anomaly's unique structure has fueled countless conspiracy theories. Adding to the mystery, Divers and equipment operators investigating the site have reported inexplicable technical failures. Could this structure be as ancient as 140,000 years? The truth remains hidden in the depths. But finally, we have another mysterious find: the Antikythera mechanism. This ancient device was determined in 1959 to be an early analog computer used to predict the positions of planets and stars based on the calendar month. It also tracked seasons, religious festivals like the Olympics, and even the cycles of lunar and solar eclipses. But the most impressive feature: the mechanism could calculate the Moon's elliptical orbit with astonishing precision. Scientists are still unraveling its full capabilities, proving that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we once believed. That's it for the most terrifying finds from the bottom of the ocean. Thanks for watching.